It's a pleasure to be here so early in the morning. Thank you, Krista. Camping on the coast and Toastmasters. Never, until a week ago, I wouldn't have put those two things together. But camping is a stretch. I have a fairly new Airstream trailer. Got all the hookups, electric, water, sewer. I've got heating, air conditioning if I need. I even got stereo and a TV. RV, I suppose, if that's a word, was more like what I was doing last night. But this is a far cry from the camping I did, the tent camping I did when my family moved here in 1980. We came over to what you call the coast. In Maryland, it's the beach or the shore. And there, typical activities are laying on the beach, sunbathing, and when you're too hot, you take a dip in the warm, calm Atlantic Ocean. Boy, were we shocked about the Oregon coast. I remember camping at Honeymoon, and the wind was blowing, and I'd get a newspaper and I'd go, sure, it's 95 in Medford. Then we went down to Humboldt Mountain, where it was a little more sheltered, but still I'd get the newspaper. It's 95 in Medford. Finally, we went over to that side. But I didn't come here just to talk about the Oregon coast. I came here to talk about Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters in September of 2009, and I joined two clubs. The Oregon State Club, which I'm currently a member in Raleigh. I picked the Oregon State Club because it was a vibrant dynamic club. We had strong leaders. And like I said, it was this vibrant club. For instance, these are some of the awards the club had, and these are the ones that aren't even on the, what do you call it, on our banner. Our banner's full. And I like this one. Didn't even know we had this. This one is home club of division director. There's another one, home club of the area director. Like, we ought to put that up now. My energy matched the energy of the club at the time. I was cleaning out my backpack over here the other day because it got all these manuals that are completed in. I just carry around completed manuals. Why? Anyway, I found all sorts of records of achievement, speech contest awards. So I was really into it at that club. I was proud to be a member of the Oregon State Club. For a time, but over time, things started to change. We had a number of powerful leaders, longtime leaders leave. The loss of two couples was pretty impactful. I went and looked up the Distinguished Club Program results for the Oregon State Club in 2010, 2013, and 2016. 2010, 29 members, and we made 9 goals. 2013, we had 21 members, we did 7 goals. 2016, however, we had 19 members with all 2 goals. And as I looked around one day at the state of our club, holy crap. I'm sorry for that. That's not in my notes. I realized I was the long-term veteran in the club. Now, I was an officer treasurer. It was easy. really hadn't stepped up as a leader. One day after a meeting, I went to the person in the club who was one of the few that's been in the club longer than me, mentioned what I noticed in the club. She said, I sure miss those days. And I thought, I think it's now up to me to step up for the success of the organization. So how did I become area director? It's actually quite simple and easy. If you remember Ing, last year's director, she was giving makeup trainings at the time, and I had missed the training in Wilsonville. I missed the makeup training. So the Oregon State Club needed one more to have four officers trained. So she gave a training for 2 of us. I was the first to arrive at her office, and I said, we just chatted. And she mentioned that to be director, you really have to make sure you have another one comes out, or else you're director for 2 years in a row. So without prompting from her, I said, I'll do it. And I don't know who was most surprised, her or me. And when I first joined Toastmasters, I don't even remember everything. I didn't know what they did. The Inc. gave me the basics. I've got to come to all the clubs. I've got to conduct speech contests, trainings. But I see my role as much broader. I see my role as making sure we're assisting all the clubs and its members in their goals and have everybody have a positive experience in Toastmasters. And that's why I'm here today. Last week I scheduled a training on Monday. I did that for the benefit of the people right after their meeting. And I know your club is a mere 12 hours late. But I told Krista I would do everything in my power to make sure you had 4 hours. And I think I have one extra role with this club. I imagine you feel like you're on far outpost of Area 3. Measure the distance. It's 56 miles from the club. And we feel like for Alex, we're a little more that's 30. Yep. So I'm supposed to resolve I will promise to be here for day. I am going to expect to see some of you in the valley training.
And then I got so lazy that the pop-up camper is no longer sufficient, so I just bought a little 19-foot hard-sided camper. So all I'm gonna have to do is park it, hook it up, put a little slide out, and then I have a TV now, and air conditioning, and heat, and it is, I call it my mobile hotel room.
There you go.
And I'm very excited, and I get to use it for the first time this weekend coming up. So
the correct term for that is glamping.
Yes.
Yeah.
I realized I was glamping. Last time we took out the pop-up camper, I put Christmas lights around it. And I was like, now I think I'm officially glamping. So we are going to have table topics today, which is very exciting. And these were some questions, suggestions, topics that Bob put forth, things he would like to hear from us, members of the club. And so please help me welcome Dave, who is going to lead that.
Thank you, Madam President and Madam Postmaster. Looking at the usual suspects here. Julia, we'll pick on you first. Why did you join Toastmasters?
Thank you for that wonderful question, Mr. Table Topics. I joined Toastmasters because I am finding myself pushed more and more into a speaking role. As the owner of a business here in Oregon and also having some success in my industry, I'm often asked to speak at industry conferences, and then as well as promoting our business in seminars and workshops. I'm usually the one looked to give the talk. And what I found was, although I know my subjects very well, my brain works differently than my mouth. And so a lot of times my words come out jumbled and don't really make sense. And then there was a lot of uhs and ahs and what they call uptick or upspeak. So I would end a statement with my voice going up, and which takes the confidence out of a speaker. And also I would also say right, so what I've learned is I need to practice more. I need to learn the techniques behind practicing, behind speaking, and Laura Lee was very instrumental in inspiring me, as well as Brian, as they came to Rotary. And I thought, all right, this is for me. I need to join this. So here I am.
By the way, the title is Mr. or Miss Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, or in my case, Your Holiness. Okay. I'm reading this question here, and I don't know if there's anybody else, but I want to give my answer to this one before I assign it to somebody else. It'll give you time to think about it, whoever it is I call on with your answer. For anyone resisting pathways, what is behind your resistance? Well, in my case, I had a stroke recently, about 6 months ago, and I have trouble navigating the computer. And so much of Toastmasters now are the pathways. You have to go on the computer to take the little test and all of that stuff. So it's my ineptitude with the computer that's my biggest resistance. The more I hear about pathways, the more excited I am about it. But I've got to navigate that one stumbling block of the computer. And once I get beyond that, I'm going to get started. I already know what path I want to take. Although I understand they're going to offer you 3 choices, but you don't have to take any of those choices. Right. You can pick the one you want.
Right.
So we'll go with, I don't know who else would be resistant here.
I'm resistant.
Okay.
A volunteer.
Thank you, Your Holiness. My resistance to pathways is twofold. Like you, getting on the computer. I'm on the computer all day long, and so at work, and I don't get on the computer at home. So most of my computer time is at work. I have a fast computer, but it's a work computer. Even though we have a liberal computer policy at work. Last thing I want to do is get on and go look at this. The second resistance I have is that my interest in Toastmasters is not, it's really to practice my speaking skills. I talk a lot in public, in scientific meetings, etc. I'm here to just I don't feel like I need to learn new leadership skills or whatever they're offering. I don't even know what it's about other than what Laura Lee has presented. And so I guess it's just inertia. I haven't done any manuals since I joined this club in 2005, or completed any manuals because I get out of it what coming here, meeting you guys, talking to people, and practicing my speaking skills is what I want out of this club. I don't need that.
One of the things I've learned about pathways, and one of the reasons I used to feel exactly like you, but it's basically, in my point, I've accomplished all that I really want to accomplish in Toastmasters, except for one thing. I want to help my club. And the pathways, once you get used to the pathways, you can find, I happen to know from other people that are doing it, there's a pathway that fits your needs. It's exactly what you're saying you want to get out of pathways now. And so that would be the one for you to take. So when you go in there and you get the thing, I think you'll find that
There's a resistance to pathways category.
it's not called that, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. And I think that way you would twofold, you could help your club get credit for those things, but it's also, you're going to be able to give the exact same speeches you would have been giving anyway. So I hope I took away your argument there, because I have the same issues. And now the only stumbling block I have left is getting somebody to help me to get on. I think I've got somebody lined up for that. Okay, we'll go with, well, it has one specifically here for Brian Norris.
There you go.
Oh.
Yep.
And I got the answer from this from an official in my other club district, but I want to hear your answer.
Oh.
What was the outcome of your call with John in reference to the cancellation of the fall contest? And I don't know that it has been canceled, but I heard it's been changed.
Well, Your Holiness, as far as the club, as far as the humorous speaking contest, there has been some changes from Toastmasters International, from my understanding. Toastmasters International has directed all of the districts to focus more on the spring or on the convention, and so they want to make sure that all of the emphasis and resources and things are happening to the spring convention. So there is not going to be an official district humorous speaking contest. However, we have this gentleman here, as well as Abraham, and I'm not sure if Abraham has decided to support it from a division level. He's our division director, if I'm using the term proper. I think he's a director, right?
I think they're all directors.
Okay, so the division director, Abraham, has said that as clubs and as groups, like multiple clubs, they can do contests. I don't know if there's going to be a division contest yet. He hasn't, to my knowledge, answered that question. Bob may have more information, but Bob has said that if we want to do an area contest with other clubs, that he would support that. So to my knowledge, that is where we're at with that topic.
My other club in the Central Division, we're definitely having the area and the division.
Okay.
But he also told me that they were planning on you won't have the district contest until they have the other contest, the same, that they would have it then.
So they would be doing it in the spring?
They would be
Is that
doing
gonna
it
be
in the spring.
Okay.
The other levels would be now, and then in the spring is when they would have the finals.
Hmm.
Now, that's not written in stone yet, but that is from one of the big wigs from, I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that belongs to 18 clubs, 6 of which are prison clubs.
Okay. Yeah, I have not heard that the district is going to be
And
doing
he's been one of
that.
our state people over the years, so he's thoroughly involved in that. But it's up to each individual division, whether you're gonna do it or not. If the interest is there,
I don't know if Abraham is the division one yet or not.
no, there's no point if the interest isn't there, but if the interest is there,
So you couldn't do the spring one unless you did an area
no.
one?
Well,
What they would do is they'd have two finals at the spring contest. It'd be the finals for the international and the finals for the humorous.
I think that'd be more distracted from the international speaking contest than having a fall.
Well, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true or not.
right.
The
So
argument
to
for it,
answer, I think
yeah.
maybe to your question too, in the spring, they do a international speaking contest and they do evaluations as a contest. In the fall, historically, it has been a humorous speech and table topics. The humorous speech is not, I guess, recognized as an international contest.
correct.
So it's been done at a district level for fun, and table topics is what they combined with that. And then as far as an international contest, to my knowledge, it's always been a speech contest, and they don't move on with the evaluation
Right.
contest
Exactly.
international. And so they just kind of combine that with it. So we can still compete in the spring, and it would be an international contest, which could be a humorous speech if you can take that. Normally, it's like a motivational type of a speech with humor in it. So
The argument that I was hearing for keeping the fall contest was simply that it's just good publicity. Instead
Right.
of getting publicity once a year, you've got two times where you've got natural publicity for the individual.
right.
players.
Well, and like anytime we've had people, and we've actually in the last few years that I've been in the club, because I've only been here for like 3 years, we've supported all of those contests, and we've had people win different levels, and so we've always put that in the paper, and we've had people come check us out because we have
Because you've had
activity
that, exactly.
taking place, and you also learn how to give, you learn how to do
And that's the
contests.
argument for continuing it. But if they continue it, I understand it's going to be, as I described, where they'd have the finals at the big contest. And it's not all that distracting because most people, the contest people are there for the contest, and everybody else that's there for the classes are there for the classes. I'm sure they can make it work. I think it would be worthwhile for them to make it work. But they're still arguing about it at that level.
Right.
It's not set in stone yet. But he's on the state council, so he's arguing for it. Okay, got time for one more?
Yeah, one more.
What's on time? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to ask Lee if your reason for being in Toastmasters is different from when you initially joined. So is your reason for being here now different than when you initially joined?
Yes.
That gives me time for.
I would say my reasons for being involved in Toastmasters have changed over the years. Probably because the reason I joined, I had 2 colleagues who were members, and they encouraged me to go. My wife was on the debate team in high school. She wanted to go, and she said, "Should we join?" Oh, and she said, "Let's join." So those reasons, the 2 guys that I went with are no longer in Toastmasters. My wife isn't here today, but she is still in Toastmasters. But the thing that I found in it was that I could use the projects, especially in the advanced manuals, to improve what I was doing at work. I was a pretty bumbling speaker, and I had to do presentations for the city council. I had to take engineering terms and make them understandable to lay people. The Toastmasters gave me the opportunity to do that. In one of my evaluations, my supervisor said that I was very effective at making people understand technical presentations. Wait, I'll count Toastmasters for that one. I am now retired, so I come because I enjoy the company.
I would like to do just one more. I see Svetlana up there in her psychedelic colors on coming out. And I'd like to know, we really enjoy having you join us by Skype, but why do you do Toastmasters?
Thank you. I do Toastmasters because I learned about Toastmasters. That is something very, very English. And as soon as I moved from Newcastle to London, the first week I went out and I found the nearest Toastmasters and I joined it because I wanted to club with real English people. It's not easy to find English people walking around in London because they're all busy. And they're very private people. So in order to make friends with English people, I went to Toastmasters. And there's so many clubs in London that I very quickly became addicted to Toastmasters. So it was no longer about English people because London is so cosmopolitan and clubs are so cosmopolitan, but it was about Toastmaster, about public speaking, about leadership, about making friends and speaking. Thank you.
Send your votes for the best table topics today to me, and I will tabulate them and choose a winner.
So will you write your vote really quickly, and then we're going to invite Leah for an evaluation of Bob's speech. And I will say too for 1 second that my reason for joining has changed even in the short amount of time that I've been here. I originally joined because I was getting ready to do a presentation at an international conference. And so I took a 2-month crash course right before. And now that that's gone, I come every Tuesday because I so enjoy the company and the challenge and all the opportunities that I've had here. So please help me welcome Lee.
So this was an interesting assignment for me this morning to evaluate Bob. Bob has obviously got some experience and is an accomplished speaker, but I'm supposed to look back at his previous speech evaluation and see whether he has implemented the comments made by the previous evaluator. I'm going to do that quickly and then go on to some other items. The item the previous evaluator put for improvement was practice a little more. Sometimes you stumble or search the bit for what to say. That was on a 10 to 15 minute speech. I only had 5 minutes on this speech to evaluate, but I realized that is probably something that you need to continue to work on, stumbling or trying to find the exact right word. My wife would pick me up on that one. So overall, I thought the speech was really, really good. And the evaluation form that I have, was it clear? Yes, it was clear and easily understood. Vocal variety wasn't great, but sometimes you can overdo vocal variety depending on your topic. And I thought vocal variety was very appropriate for the subject. If you're talking about a trip to the circus, you may get very vocal, and also your gestures. And in a subject such as you gave us on how to help our club and how a club can improve from people becoming involved, I thought was appropriate with the gestures that were used. You related well to the audience. You appeared to be comfortable here, and I thought that the subject was very applicable for us. We don't have a grammarian today, but I am married to an English teacher.
Oh boy.
So you said you were laying on the beach, and I didn't see any eggs when you got through. So you're probably lying on the beach.
Sunbathing. I shouldn't have said sunbathing. That's right.
And there was a statement about something longer than me, and it would be longer than I. That's kind of a tricky one.
It is.
who was more surprised, her or me? And she would be surprised, not her would be surprised. But like I said.
English teacher. All right.
Now, you were talking about being a remote club. When I was the area governor, we had the Sayusla Tail Spinners out of Florence, south end of our area, and the north end had a club in Lincoln City. The Sayusla Tail Spinners, there was a big gavel that was available if you could steal it from another club. And the way to steal it from another club was to show up at their meeting. And if two clubs showed up at their meeting, the one that came the farthest had the most people. There was somebody in Sayusla Tail Spinners that had a private plane, and they would take 3 or 4 people to a club in Portland or in Vancouver or in Medford, and they won that trophy. Now, trying to go to Florence to take it away from them was a challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something the district might consider again. But that certainly made for clubs visiting each other. But back to your speech, I thought it overall was a good speech, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the content especially, and I enjoyed your sincerity in the presentation. Thank you.
And I know that there was a lot that I related to in your speech as well. Regarding water temperature, I'm originally from New York, and I went to college in Long Island where you can go swimming in the ocean, and that was wonderful. Then I moved to Alaska, where you never want to go swimming in the ocean. And after 11 years, I moved here because I wanted to be somewhere warmer. And I showed up in February, and there was no snow, and you could wash the car, and I was so excited, and I went to the beach, and I dipped my toe in the water, almost froze it off, and I thought, I'll wait till summer. How disappointed I was that come summer, it wasn't any warmer.
No, it's the same.
So someday I will find some warmth.
All right.
So, Bob, would you like to come up here? What was your plan to direct a conversation?
No, my plan was let's have a conversation. I mean, I could come up there,
or
but
however you'd like to do it.
I can see everybody.
Right?
Thank you.
I'm gonna hand it over to you.
All right. Speaking of pathways, if you were at the officer training last year, I was the last person in the room that was full of people. I've never been to a makeup training that had so many people. And Amy took it upon herself to use me as an example of the pathways resistor. And I'm pretty easy to poke fun. And I had the typical things. How dare they change? How dare they change it? And it's the computers and all that stuff. But having been with John, who's the district director, I didn't realize he was district director halfway through our training. He said a couple of things that really struck home. He says that you just cut yourself off from pathways. You have removed yourself as a mentor or as a person to go to for new people coming in. And I thought, hey, that's a pretty good reason to at least know about it, know how to get on it. And what I've noticed in the officer training last week, some people are not happy with you said leadership, and that's what it looks like, because they put the leadership manual inside of pathways along with the speeches. So some people say, I don't want that. I want storytelling. My experience with the first round, I give an icebreaker. Could have been storytelling. I give a second speech. They give you no topic. Could have been storytelling. I give a third speech. Again, they don't say do this. It could have been storytelling. So I think you can take the structure of pathways and suit it for yourself. Do your humor speeches. So, and I told them the quote I said last week was, I haven't drank all the Kool-Aid of pathways. But the other thing, it's inevitable. In 2020, That's all there'll be.
So interesting perspective, but I don't have a perspective other than pathways.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm like,
What's your
it's
problem?
wonderful.
What's the
Yeah,
big deal?
I think it's awesome.
Well, now I asked somebody in our club. He's an exchange student or a grad student from India, I think. And he's only done pathways. And I, Susan, what do you think? Fine.
Yeah.
And then somebody, who was the other 32 director? Lisa. She said if you go back in Toastmasters far enough, they didn't have the manuals that were so resistant to leave, and there was a change, and then there it is. So now I thought I'd come out here and find out everybody's happy with pathways out here. Not so. The other thing John talked about with just finding out about clubs, it was the question I asked, is what you started the same reason why you're here now? And if it's changed, the club should know that and perhaps make adjustments to how you do your meetings, or what changes you make, or maybe have a special meeting about something, just so that you're addressing the needs of the current members. Now, I joined in 2009 because I'd written a book about dads, and I started talking about it. And I talked to 70 Rotary clubs. You're in Rotary?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you meet up here at the hotel?
At the Elks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was over there many years ago. I took 70 clubs from Vancouver down to the other side of the border in California. And then I joined a club. But now that's different. I stopped doing that, and I started thinking, why am I in Toastmasters? So everybody should, I think, take a look at that. Okay, being officers, take a look at, hey, are we providing the atmosphere to help our members? The other thing I think I'm doing is you sent me the success plan, which we can't find the right form for. Because pathways is, I'm gonna make sure I check in with you every couple months. Hey, how's that going? You said so-and-so was gonna have, because that's so typical. You make a plan, you write it up, you send it in, and then at the end of the year, oh, dang. So do you guys have a way to follow up? Do you do that?
With the members and their progress?
Mhm.
Oh, well, I have an excellent vice president of education who's also a fantastic mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm relying pretty heavily on him
Well,
to help with that, because I think he'll be asking everybody how they're doing on it.
At the training in Corvallis last week, we went around the room and asked, what is the role of the president of the VP Ed, all that. And they got to Bettina, and they said, what's the role of the president? What do you think?
Somebody blame?
Something positive.
Direction for.
Yes. She said, she just blurted out, delegate. And it is. And you just did it. You said, are you following up? No, Brian is. All right, so Brian, at the meeting, there was some sense of support for areas of speech contest. And they were talking about using tall tales instead of humorous, but tall tales can be humorous.
Sure.
And talk about having area 32 and 33, just one contest, as opposed to having 4 or 5 people come up from one and then 4 or 5 the other. And I told him this. I said, I'm going to go over there to Newport. I'm going to tell Brian if he wants to have a combined area contest.
We could do it here.
So, but it's up to you.
But we could do it here, right?
Sure, you could.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. Now, I'll support you in terms of letting everybody know, advertising it, but you can start it. I'll get you all the emails, And, you know, I'm not saying do it all yourself, but you obviously have energy about it. And there's several people on the other side are ready for it. And I was surprised to hear that there's other clubs, other divisions that are thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's not just us. It's
Right. So one of the suggested comments are, what do you think the area director? What do you think my purpose is? Anybody?
Well,
newbie?
to be here, which is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I like seeing you and I like hearing more of the, like, I'm thinking, okay, visit Corvallis Club. When do you meet? How do I find you? So the kind of some of the basics I think I'm missing, but.
Oh, so you want to find my club?
Like, how can I come show up?
You can show up at noon on Friday at the Crop Science Building, 30th and Campus Way.
Is there a website where that shows all that though?
You can, yes, you can go to
The Pathways website?
no, go to, you can just go find a Toastmaster club and it'll take you there. You put in a zip code, and so there are, do you know how many clubs are in Area 33? No. There's this club, there's 4. There's the Oregon State Club that meets Friday at noon. There's the Corvallis Evening Club that meets Monday at 6:15. And there's a group on campus, they call themselves the Mime, and I thought that was a play on Toastmasters, but it's the Mechanical Industrial, I don't know, some other kind of engineer. 7 a.m. Tuesdays.
Okay.
Or
So is there a Florence or Lincoln City Club anymore?
yes, but I looked through the website and found that you guys have moved around in terms of what area you're in. Right. Used to be Coast.
Used to be the coast.
Used to be Eugene.
right.
Which is
That was
that's
rough.
further.
That
Yeah.
was rough.
Well, we were in the division of our area. When I was the area governor, it was Toledo, 2 clubs in Newport, 1 in Lincoln City, and 1 in Florence.
No, that's a lot better.
But recently it was out of Eugene
Right.
until just this last year.
And for some reason, they've changed the Florence and Lincoln City and Newport all in different divisions, all 3 of us.
Right. Those like all of them are going towards the valley.
I'd much rather we all had our coastal, personally, our
Yeah.
How
coastal
about Area
club back.
35?
Well,
Could be.
and there is another area that covers part of Corvallis as well. So there
Right,
are
so
other
there's-
clubs in Corvallis.
There's a Lebanon, there's 2 others in Corvallis, and maybe that's it.
Yeah,
No, there's
I don't know the other one. but
So we tried
So
all
it's
4 clubs.
Lebanon.
Albany,
No, it's surprising. Albany doesn't have a club,
right?
but there must be 3 others in Corvallis.
Yeah.
One meets Wednesdays at noon. There's one at New Scale, which is kind of a club.
Oh, the Samaritan
company.
Club. There's a Samaritan Club.
Yeah,
in Corvallis.
Yeah, and the Samaritan Club is.
They're closed club.
Well, I don't know. I visited a couple times practicing a speech.
CM2
Nope.
no longer have a club.
No. Anyway, we're getting close. Anything you would like of me? Question? Yeah, you guys think the area director's coming. And just a guy who said yes. I'm recently retired,
When you said it's not hard to become the area director,
No.
they're usually pretty desperate to find people that are willing
Last
to
man
accept.
standing.
Well, and
So-
I started thinking about Ing said, you got to find a replacement. I didn't even try. There's a woman in our club that wants to be a distinguished Toastmaster on the old
Right.
system, and it takes her
Does
being area director. Cynthia, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, next 2 years
Krista
will be
really
pretty easy.
campaigned to become president of this club.
She didn't
So
show up for one
seriously,
meeting.
I feel by cutting through all the official stuff. I'm here to help. So I'm here to assist you. Let me know how. And I have some requirements. I got to write a report after this meeting. I'll check on you. Nobody's going to come over here and bad people or write you up.
So our success plan for our club, where is, like, how do I contribute to that? Or how does the goals of our club, because you referred to that, but
There are 6. First of all, there are 10 goals to meet. 6 of them are about giving speeches. So you can help with that. Get your dues in on time is another one. The other 4 are administrative. So get your dues in on time, have officer training twice a year.
which this is officer training.
This is officer training.
There's one goal that if you don't meet, none of the rest of them really count.
Yeah, you got to have 20 members. Yeah.
That's,
We're at 20, but I know we're going to be
we're gonna have
losing
to
one.
campaign to get more people
Yeah.
by the time this comes around.
Now, I saw
So
something
Julia,
that
we have you down for getting your level 2 award.
I'm going to
and
get
level-
that
And level 3 award,
for this year.
and then bringing in 7 people.
No, we do have
I
those.
can recruit.
But I saw some, you have a plan on going to Rotary clubs and other,
You need,
you know,
yeah.
so you've
I
got
just need to
you've
know
got
more.
a plan to do it. So
Brian and I met with the city manager a week and a half ago, and I saw him again last Friday. He followed up with me. He's got a staff meeting this week, and he's going to encourage his staff
yeah,
to, or I guess he's more going to poll his staff and
right.
see what interest there might be in coming to Toastmasters, letting us do a speech craft for them, and the possibility even of them becoming a company club
Right.
for the city and the county. So
That's very good.
one thing that we're working on.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll keep track of the weather. When there's a, when there's a,
October has beautiful weather.
when
here.
there's a good, when there's a good
Absolutely.
Tuesday, going over here to South Beach.
First 2 weeks in October can't be.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Tourists
I
are
know.
gone.
But it's I've been following the weather, and I noticed 65 high, 51 low for weeks. Today 80, tomorrow 65.
Yep.
You
So-
came over on the right day.
All right. Well, I enjoyed being here and hope to see you again soon. All right.
And Julia, that was a nice reminder for me. So I do have a plan that's on the drive, and I will share that with all the members. But basically, all we need to do is keep doing what we're doing, educational-wise, working on pathways. I think we're going to meet all that. That's just fine. And we're going to have to do some sort of a PR campaign, which we have yearly annual events we do anyway. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing, and they will come.
All right. Last comment. These aren't goals just to have goals. They have found that if you meet these goals, you have a healthy club.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have about 20 members.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and if the club is active and doing, and the members are achieving the goals and the reasons why they joined, it's that you stay healthy and you hit these goals. So the goals are just right there for just signing up and saying we did it.
Yeah, I found working with a club that was struggling that, oh, we don't do this and that. And then we said, well, let's look at your goals. And they 4 or 5 of them they had. Didn't even realize.
So we do have, we are at 8 o'clock, just for anyone who has to run out the door, but we have a table topics award. We don't want to forget that.
It's a 3-way tie, and one of the 3 people can't be here to accept it. But Svetlana and Julia and Lee.
Oh, she's a girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Table topic trophy. So,
Thank you.
Sure that
Great.
We could just ship the trophy
Yeah.
to Simmer.
just stand and
get the picture.
Well,
Yeah, we can get down here by the camera.
by the,
Alana could be like, I'm
Shake
full.
there you go. Hold it right up with her.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
And with that, I will hand it back over to the president.
Do we want to time it?
Oh, Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Can we have a timer's report? Emma?
Yes, sure. Bob Hazelton spoke for 8 minutes and 32 seconds. I was a little bit in doubt. I wanted to use my fly swatter. I wanted to clap, but then I didn't want to be too cheeky because I guessed he was a distinguished guest. Now, as for the table topics, yes, and somebody said, right, I look like psychedelic. First half of the meeting, there was echo, I couldn't hear anybody, and then I saw myself, I thought I must tell them that it does feel like, surreal and subliminal and psychedelic. And then somebody said that. Thank you. Right. The first table topic question went to Julia. Why did you join Toastmasters? She spoke for 1 minute and 45 seconds. And then the second question Dave gave to himself. He spoke for like 1 minute. And the question was about resistance. The third person spoke for 1 minute and 10 seconds. Brian, the fourth speaker, talked for 1 minute and 37 seconds. I love the question. It was a real life question for a table topic impromptu speech. Instead of what would you do on a deserted island, he answered the question about international speech contests. That was wonderful. Lee, intentions different from initial for joining and staying with Toastmasters. Spoke for, I didn't write the time, I don't know why. But
Well, it was yellow.
Lee, yes, it was yellow, that's right. And Lee, the evaluator, spoke for 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So for next week, we have Brian as the Toastmaster. Dave, you're going to give a speech?
Yeah.
Next week? Okay. You're going to be evaluated by Svetlana. Speaker number 2 is Cody. Hopefully he'll be able to get off work. It looks like we have a spot for an evaluator for Cody. So you're going to be out.
I have to go up to the bank.
So I can do that.
I may be able to come if I can come, I can join the other half.
Okay. So I just threw my name in there and we can fight over it if you make it next week.
Do you have another role? Oh, okay.
That's fine. Grammarian, we have Brian Haggerty.
His mom's an English teacher.
So table topics. Okay, so table topics, we have Dave again, but Dave's also giving a speech.
Let Julie will be table topics.
Okay. If I cannot make it, I will let the club know.
Okay.
But I will do
The
that
theme,
sooner
the
than
theme
later.
is I have a dream.
Timer, we have Lori, general evaluator Kathleen, and Christina's out, and Jaylene should hopefully be back. But you want to give me the computer and stuff, I guess, today? Oh, sure. Well, I don't want to take your computer. Okay.
I'll do my work.
So we need to coordinate on that. So those are our roles for next week. And I know Bob has offered to stay and talk some more if you would like. And looking out there, there's lots of empty tables, so they're not going to be in a rush to push us out of here. All right. Thanks, everyone, for a great meeting.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye. See you next week.
I just had an old guy moment. Can you take a picture of the TV screen now?
Yes.
We'll
Yeah,
find
it's
out.
not
There
doing the
used
whole-
to be the flicker,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and I forget what
Yeah,
the,
they're black and white, and you just,
Yeah, you can
you had that
actually-
bar across the street. Yeah.
Do you like my background? Do you like my background? It's not a virtual background, it's a real background. And these are the birds. It's an embroidery from Uzbekistan.
Oh, wow.
So my grandma made it for me.
oh, wow.
And they look like birds, like, I am a president of Witty Birds Storytelling Club, also online. So I will now take these birds with me everywhere.
Very nice.
That's great.
I have my own. I have dream speech.
Do you?
I have a dream that one day
My-
it's able to cross the road without having its motives questioned.
What would be helpful for me
Yeah.
is
That's good.
if someone is
That's
interested
funny.
in
Here.
joining the class, like email, I can send them of what they need to do. Like
I got